I mean, none of this really makes much sense, but I went there to shoot her. And she grabbed the gun out of my hand and pushed me out of the door.
That's when you heard the shots?
Yes, coming from inside. So someone else must have been in there. But how did they get out before you and Robert went there?
Well, don't forget, Olivia's bedroom had an outside door. There's also a balcony there.
Then I didn't see.
How could you? You must have been out of your mind to get there in the first place.
Yeah. How could she kill a little baby like that?
You weren't the target in the elevator, I was.
She must have been delighted at the outcome. And she couldn't carry your baby. She wanted to make damn sure I couldn't.
Who knows how Olivia thinks? I don't know.
I know how she thinks. She took Robin that day, you know. I know we didn't prove it, but she did.
Hmm. I thank God that's all she did. She took her. She didn't do any harm.
You scared her out of her wits. She must be scared now. Have you spoken to her?
Yeah. I did. I didn't lie to her. I just avoided telling her the truth. I told her to take the day off school. So Sean and Tiffany have taken her to the zoo.
She'll know something's wrong. Did she ask where I was?
Yeah. Before I get into any details, I was rather hoping Robert would come up with something that would free you so she didn't have to be told anything at all. But...
What's going on?
Anything new?
Well, not yet. I'm waiting for a ballistics report on one of the bullets found in the room.
One of them? There was 4 or 5, weren't there?
Yeah, well, there's a second one which is in Olivia's body. It's lodged rather close to the spine and can't be removed at the moment. Third one we dug out of the wall, but it's too badly distorted for us to be able to connect it to the assault weapon.
But if there were 5 shots, then what happened to the other 2?
It's a good question. One I don't have an answer for yet. Listen, you couldn't be mistaken, could you?
I mean, I'm not positive, but there were definitely more than 3 shots.
Well, we're still digging up evidence and collating it. I'm sure these other 2 shots will be found. In the meantime, we have a load of fingerprints, which are also being processed.
Dr. Collins said that I could leave here as soon as she got permission from you. I'd like to do that. I want to see Robin.
Well, I wouldn't be in too much of a hurry to leave here just at the moment. Scott Baldwin's been assigned your case, and he's foaming at the mouth to start prosecution.
What are you talking about prosecution? She hasn't even been charged yet.
You come here to charge me?
No, I haven't. Just want to give you an update. Baldwin's out there. He wants to make a name for himself, and he doesn't much care whether he has to beat you up to do it.
I hope you tell him to go to hell.
Sure, I did in so many words, but the fact is, we have enough circumstantial evidence to bind you over for a trial.
Come on, Robert, bind it over for a trial. She told you she didn't do it.
Listen to me. Now, it's not going to do either of our causes any good for me to be accused of favoritism. I'm here to interrogate you, love. And if you don't have an attorney, well, I think you should get one.
Is it true that Anna tried to kill Olivia St. John?
Amy, I don't have all the facts on that.
But I know that Olivia was shot, and there are people here who are saying that Anna could have done it.
Amy, as I said, I don't know all the facts, and neither do the police. So why don't you do Anna and me a favor and put a squelch on all these rumors until we do, all right?
Well, yeah, I just thought that there was something you should know. There's some nurses and some interns here who are making books, you know, on whether she's going to be arrested for murder or attempted murder.
Amy, how many times do I have to talk to you about spreading gossip here in the hospital?
I wasn't. I was telling him something I thought he should know.
Ellen, do you know if Olivia's going to make it?
Tell you the truth, Sean, she's critical, and it could go either way. I just don't know. Colton, come back and see me in a day or 2, okay?
All right. Okay. Thanks again.
Hey, what happened to the hand?
Oh, I cut it at work. I just about bled to death. No, I'm kidding, David. It's not serious.
I'm glad. How's the new career coming?
It's good. I like the work. I got to thank you again for putting me together with Mac.
I knew you two would hit it off, even though he does have a prejudice against Marines.
Yeah, other than that, he's all right, though.
Good. Doing boat repairs is pretty isolating work. No one sees you anymore.
Yeah, that's one of the perks. I like that. Matter of fact, it's going to get better once we get the boat into dry dock. I won't have to see as much of Lord and Lady Ashton then.
You know, Colton, I heard Lady Ashton's first name the other night. Quartermaid's? I mean, there really can't be too many Ariels in this world. And I saw the way you ran out of there when you laid eyes on her. She's Ripley's sister, isn't she?
Yeah.
Well, did you talk to her?
No, I don't think that we have anything to talk about, Sean. She lied to me. She betrayed me. She made me lose Felicia.
Oh, no, wait a minute. I think you and I should have a little talk here about that, huh?
As I've said, I've been very anxious to talk to you, Lady Ashton.
Really, Doctor? Are psychosomatic headaches that unusual?
No, they're not, but the reasons behind the migraines interest me tremendously.
I'm sure you don't have time to play games, Dr. Hardy, and I know I don't. You're interested in me because of Colton, right?
As a matter of fact, yes.
I know you were his psychiatrist. I know you helped clear him of Frisco Jones's murder. I read everything I could find on the subject.
And?
And he was brainwashed. And it was in therapy with you that he remembered everything.
That's right.
Dr. Hardy, I came here to ask you one question. Did Colton remember being in love with me when he fell in love with Felicia?
Look, are you sure you, don't want an attorney present before we get into this?
No. No, I haven't got anything to hide.
Okay. All right. You said that you went to the hotel to kill Olivia, but that she got the gun away from you, and then you struggled.
Yeah. I didn't realize how weak I was. Anyway, she took the gun, we struggled, and that's when I thought it was over. But she didn't shoot. Instead, she pushed me outside the door.
Go on.
While I was outside the door, I felt really sick. But anyway, that's when I heard the shots coming from inside.
How many?
I'd say 4 or 5.
And then?
Then, I tried to get back inside. The door wasn't locked, but something was blocking it. Anyway, it took me a few seconds, that's all, probably, to get back in. And there she was, lying there, in a pool of blood. And my gun was right there, near her.
Now, you're sure it was your gun?
Yeah, she'd taken it from me just a few seconds earlier. Then I heard something. And I thought it was the killer in the other room or whatever. So I picked up the gun to protect myself. And nothing happened, and I was just standing there over the body when you and Duke came in.
Now, you saw nobody before we did?
No, absolutely not. No one.
And what about these noises you heard? Can you give me a description?
Well, I don't know. I mean, it was noises, like someone moving around in the other room or in the hallway. I'm not sure where it came from. I mean, it could have been you or Sean.
Okay. I've got one more question for you. I want you to think about this very, very carefully before you answer it. Are you sure that you went home first to collect your gun before you went to the hotel to confront Olivia?
Oh, yeah. Of course I did. I mean, I may have been sick, but I'm not stupid. I wasn't going to face that woman without a weapon.
Why are you asking that?
Because the gun Anna picked up wasn't hers.
A cheese riddle. General Hospital will continue in a moment.
Impossible. I mean, that has to have been my gun.
Well, it's easy enough to check, isn't it? I mean, Anna's gun's registered in her name.
I've sent Lewis over to the house with a search warrant.
Yeah?
Well, I haven't heard back yet. But we did check the gun you were holding. It's unregistered, no serial number, so it's effectively untraceable.
And what happened to Anna's gun?
Another good question.
You're not going to find it at my house. I mean, you can tell Lewis that. I took it with me to Olivia.
Are you sure you're not mistaken?
Yes, I'm sure. Are you saying that the gun that shot Olivia wasn't mine?
I'm waiting for a ballistics report back. Since it's the only gun we found, you gotta get yourself an attorney, darling.
We'll get the best we can find.
I mean, you believe me, don't you? Don't you believe me?
I don't know what happened, but I believe you. Of course I do.
And so do I. Scott Baldwin, he's gonna take some convincing.
Oh. You do me a favor. When you speak to Robin, you tell her all about this, because I don't want her to find out from her friends at school.
I'm going over to see her now.
Okay. Give her my love. Hug her and kiss her.
Yeah.
Well, I'm new in the DA's office, but I'm sure before too long I'll have my fair share of enemies, you know what I mean? Got a minute?
What do you want?
Well, I read your evidence file. I want to know when you're going to book her.
Well, if you read it, it must have occurred to you that there were quite a lot of unanswered questions.
Come on, Robert. Anna was standing over Olivia with a gun in her hand. Plus, you see, I've been talking to some hospital personnel. This one nurse told me that she heard Anna threaten Olivia's life. So what do you want?
I'd say that was all circumstantial, Counselor.
I'd say it's enough to convict her.
Well, if I book her, and if she goes to trial, you won't be the one to prosecute.
Look, if you really feel that Ariel lied to you, why don't you confront her with it? Get it out in the open. Get on with the rest of your life.
I'm getting on with my life. All I'm asking is to be left alone. I don't want to talk to Ariel about anything, all right?
Why? Because you think you've lost Felicia?
I don't think. I know.
What do you mean you know? How do you know that? She write you a Dear John letter?
No.
Then what makes you think she's not coming back?
Have you heard from her?
No, but what difference does that?
Well, neither have I. And I don't expect to. Look, Sean, regardless of what you and I think the truth is, I can't get away from the feeling that I was responsible for Frisco's death.
Oh, come on.
Felicia thinks the same thing. I know she does.
Come on, that is ridiculous. You both know you didn't kill him.
I appreciate you trying to help, but every time that Felicia looks at me from now on, she's going to be reminded of the fact that I went to that warehouse to kill her husband. Regardless of my motives or whatever, it doesn't matter. She's not coming back.
All right.
And I have Ariel to thank for that.
All right, suit yourself then. But as far as I can see, I think you feel a little bit more than just hatred for Ariel.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. The girl that I fell in love with is no longer here. She's gone. And now we have Lady Ashton. She's spoiled, she's rich, and she's in love with her husband. She's out of my life forever, and I'm glad.